Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. I wanted to take some time to explain the purchase order, especially the terms and conditions, so you'll fully understand your commitment to the supplier and your expectation from your supplier because purchase order is a contract. I'm going to explain each field because some people have never issued a purchase order before. They need to understand how they fill in the purchase order. And even if you have issued the purchase order before, I would just still want you to listen in because there are some best practices. I have worked in the manufacturing environment for so many years in different companies, small and big. I can guarantee you what I'm teaching you now is the best practice. So start from the very beginning. The purchase order number. A lot of people can just think that a purchase order is such a simple thing. You can just name any number. It is true, but the best practice is not to use any alphabetic letters. Like, for example, you can say PA, PB, etc., etc. I would strongly suggest you not to use any alphabetic letters from A to Z. Only use numerical numbers and try to avoid use PO. For example, PO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can be confused by many suppliers, this either as a PO or P0. So try to avoid this and only use numerical numbers. You can start with a 4 digits or 5 digits. For example, 1001, and that is a 5 digits numerical number. And the benefit of using a numerical number, let me show you. For example, if you start from 1001, you can go to your, maybe a record keeping sheet, input your 1001, drag this plus sign, or you double click on this this sign, and it will give you a sequential number of your purchase order, and you can further track your supplier name. For example, you issue the purchase order to Golden Star, and your product is cutting board and in the amount of 12,000. Another is maybe ABC company, and it was a knife, and then in the $5,000 purchase order. And then you can use the filter here. You just use data and filter. You will be able to sort, give me anything that is I issued Golden Star. You see what I mean? So come back to the purchase order. It is very good to use only numerical number, meaning you can actually sequentially track this PO, especially as your company grow, your product line grow. This becomes increasingly important. Don't randomly name a purchase order PA or P0, PO. You got it, okay? So order date is the date of you issuing the purchase order, and your desired ship date. The desired ship date, it could be anything. If you are back ordered, you issue the purchase order on January 1, ideally you need the inventory next day, right? January 2nd, but you have to respect your supplier's lead time. The production lead time normally is 30 days. Shipping lead time is normally 30 days. And so you should probably add 2.5 months to your order date to calculate your desired shipping date, especially with the inspection add in between. But this desired shipping date is not a contract date. It's only your desired. The contract date, guys, is the date acknowledged in the supplier's proforma invoice, this PI, proforma invoice. In the contract world, whoever has the last paperwork, the party who has the last paperwork prevails. For example, if your desired delivery date is March 1st, and the supplier's acknowledged date in their PI is March 25. That means this March 25 is the legal contract date because they acknowledge your purchase order. Unless you say March 25 is not acceptable, reissue your PI and confirm my desired shipping date as March 1st, and then that March 1st will become. So you see, guys, it is essential for you to get the acknowledgement from your suppliers in a written pro forma invoice to confirm your desired ship date, or they acknowledged the ready date to ship, this purchase order total amount, and also the entire purchase order's terms and conditions. So their PI make this entire purchase order a legal contract with them because they acknowledge. Okay, let's move on to the header section, buyer, supplier, and ship to. So the contract party is between the buyer and the supplier. It's very obvious. You put down your company name or your home address, and you put down your supplier address and the contact information. A lot of people are confused why there's a ship to address. Is that duplicate? It could be if you have a retail shop and your company is happen to be in the same location. But a lot of people are doing Amazon FBA. Your company location could be your home state, or if you are registered in Wyoming or even outside of the country, that's your company information. The ship to address is the physical address you instruct your supplier and your freight forwarder to ship the product to. So it could be different from your retail shop location or your company address. What if you don't have any physical address yet at the time you issue the purchase order? Don't worry, you can put down your own home address or your company address. It doesn't matter. When you create the shipping plan to Amazon, you will have a better location information. By then, you can instruct your freight forwarder and your supplier to ship the product to the physical address. You don't have to change your purchase. Export term, shipping term, payment term, they're all very obvious, but I will give you some pointers. The price is depending on the X work based or FOB based. So you need to clearly mark your agreed upon terms here, because if it's X work based, you are responsible to pick up the goods and do the export declaration through the Chinese custom. If it's FOB based, then your supplier is responsible to deliver the goods to the port and have the product declared through the Chinese custom. The shipping method, this is not very essential. You can mark it as a ship via ocean or ship via air, or TBD until you decide when they finish. The payment term, this part is essential. 70% upon final inspection approval. I have seen a lot of times people say 30% down, 70% upon shipping. That is too vague, guys. When you specify payment term, always say 70% upon final inspection approval. You are in Amazon FBA business, kind of different from the traditional manufacturing business. A lot of times in the manufacturing world, they just say 30% down, 70% upon shipping. But every single Amazon FBA shipment need to be inspected, and the supplier purchased pro forma invoice need to confirm is 30% down, 70% upon final inspection approval, because this is critical. You're not going to pay them until you are satisfied with the inspection. Come down to the body of the purchase order. This from the top, and here is the body of the purchase order, part numbers, item description, quantity, unit price. It is very obvious, but I wanted to point out your part number. Once again, do not use any alphabetical letters. It is very difficult to track alphabetical part numbers. The part number I recommend is to use numerical numbers. If you have a different product lines, for example, one product line is the cutting board, another product line is the knife, you can name the cutting board as 100 series, 100, 100, and then the knife series is 200, 100 as your part number. The abbreviation for part number is PN, so you can always tell them my part number is part number 210 for the knife, and you describe the part number when you have the exact order quantity. All you have to do is to put in here, say if you ordered 2,000, I already formulated for you at unit cost of the 485, and then you just go on 2,000 set of knife and add 250, and here's your purchase order total, 1470. So this is your part number line. You can define your part number and your description of the part, the quantity, and these sections are specifications for each part. You can insert the specifications on the purchase order, or you can attach a detailed spec sheet, as detailed as possible. Quick example, if you are making specification for your cutting board, you must specify your cutting board size, the color, if you are making it a white or green or whatever the color you gave them the RAL number or Pantone color, the hardness of the plastic, etc., etc. You have done your homework, you know what you need. Make it as detailed as possible. If there's not enough space, just attach a spec sheet to this. Okay. Purchase order total is automatically calculated. As you can see, it's the sum total of this entire column. The discount. Now I'm going to give you some money saving tips, guys. What kind of discount you can ask? If this is your first purchase order, you should definitely ask your supplier to give you a courtesy first order discount, whether it's 0.5% or it's 1%. Because you are doing a lot of giveaways, you're going to give away a lot of samples to get some reviews. As your partner, you should ask them to support you to give you a first order discount. What else you can ask for? If your product has potentially a lot of warranty issues, if it's a cutting board, maybe not, not much warranty issues. If it's a knife, maybe there gotta be some warranty issues. So it's better to negotiate the warranty discount upfront than going back to your supplier, ask for credit when there's a problem. So ask discount as much as possible. If you, instead of ordering 2,000, you change your mind to say, I'm going to order 4,000 instead. Now the total purchase order dollar amount is different. You should ask for large purchase order discount. Ask as much as possible in addition to the purchase order total. So this is coded as 5%. You can manually override it to say discount 1,000 even, or you can just use as a percentage. It's a simple math. So now your net total amount is what you're going to pay in the US dollar. In the next section, I'm going to explain the terms and conditions. This is pretty much the meat of the entire purchase order because the purchase order is a contract. I'm going to explain one by one so you are crystal clear with the commitment that the parties are making to each other.